I realized that it might be nice to actually give you a challenge problem to write some of this code, because you can watch me write code all day and that's great, but people learn a lot. In fact, they learn the most when they try to write code on their own. So, we have been talking in the last video about a survey, and I've made a new version of this file. To jog your memory, this survey is about baseball teams. It happens to be about imaginary baseball teams, and so I'm going to describe right now what I want you to do. And I've written it out here as well. So you're going to write some code. You can, hopefully you were working along with this other code, but just go forth from wherever you are. You can write this whole program from scratch if you'd like. Don't let me stop you, or you can start with this template. The first thing I want you to do is write this function. The function is called answerIsValid, and it needs to take in a character. Well, actually, it should take in anything that the user types. And then please remember that's going to be a string. This input function creates strings. It's going to take in a string, and it needs to check whether that is a valid option. So what I showed you before is you could have a data structure like this, which is a list of tuples. You know, if you're newer to Python, I'm fine with you having a structure like this as well, which is simply a list of strings. Okay, so please feel free to use either one, whichever one you would prefer. So this would be kind of the tougher version, but a way that you might just get started would be to try this. So you need to first check if it's one of these. I'm going to go ahead and put these up on the screen for you. So I'm going to describe these problems in order. You're going to do all these things. So the first thing you're going to do is write the answerIsValid function, and if you wish, you may use something along these lines, a list. Okay. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to try to make this work for both upper and lowercase letters. So to be clear, answerIsValid should return either true or false. Let's just describe this. So the input is going to be a string, and the output is going to be a Boolean, which indicates whether the string is a valid answer or not. And just to be very clear, valid answer, when I say it should work for upper and lowercase, that means a capital A or a lowercase a would be valid, capital B or lowercase b, capital C or lowercase c, capital D or lowercase d. So second task, make it work for upper and lowercase. By it, I mean the answerIsValid function. Then I want you to test your program on a friend. I want you to go ahead and give them your survey. Notice I've changed the name of the shelve here to custom survey. You can go ahead and name that whatever you want, my survey, or name it something related to what it's about. And then you could also go ahead and you could change this, you could change the question of what they're doing, of what they're answering. But then you ought to run this function, and if the function fails, then they have to keep trying to type their answer. So make sure it works. And then a stretch goal. So please note, my objective is always to give you enough to work on no matter what level you're at. A stretch goal would be write some sort of data validator. Write a function that takes in the name of a shelve, I would say as a string, and that then goes and accesses that shelve and figures out whether the data in it is compliant with the format that we've specified, meaning is the data inside the shelve actually of this format? Is it one of the valid answers? And if you're working with this other data structure, you're still going to ask the question, you know, is it one of these options, this A, B, C, or D? So a little bit tricky. That's kind of the trickiest problem on here, but it's basically going to take in a string, which is the name of a shelve, and then it's going to evaluate the data inside it, and it's going to give an output. It's going to print a statement. It's going to print something about whether the data is compliant. So I'm going to just leave this up here on the screen. You can pause this right here and work through these one by one. I don't know, give yourself, let's say 10 or 15 minutes and get however far you can, and then come back and we'll keep going from there.